Hey, good morning, everybody. Just hanging outside this morning, having some quiet time. Just thinking about this, about the power of identity. You know, in the eyes of many, that could seem like it's woo-woo stuff. Like, oh, it's just, it's this thing that it's all this mental mind game that you play with yourself. And I'll say that's true, but it's much more than that. I dare say it's quite magical to understand your identity. It is powerful. I personally think, and this is my own experience, with me understanding my identity and who I am personally, professionally, and spiritually, it transforms. Why it transforms is our brain. It's filled with all these memories, patterns, things that sometimes we don't even understand we do. Can I challenge you on that for a second? Do you have to think before you sit down in a chair? You just do it, right? Here's something even more simple. Do you think to breathe? No, you just do it. Do you think to have your heart beat? No, there's just things that naturally happen that you don't cognitively have to think about doing to do. Conversely, do you have to think when you blow up at someone because they looked at you the wrong way or they cut you off in traffic? No, you just react, right? Well, why is that? Well, see, we in our brain have these things called neural pathways, right? Think of this as like this crazy superhighway with all these things getting weaved in paths. We have these ruts in our brain. So it's kind of like if you took a marble in the sand and if you etched it down a hill, the marble's always going to go down that path, right? Same thing in our life. If X happens, the pattern that we've known and had etched in our brain, the result is Y. So once we understand these bad patterns in our brain, here's the power, and understand our identity of who we want to be, we get to choose, we get to design these new neural pathways. We can reframe our brain, we can rewrite, we can download, to steal this from Andrew Farley, we can download some new software into our brain to reprogram it to be who we want to be. All those self-limiting beliefs of, well, that's just the way I am, and God created me this way, or my parents were that way. Some people say that's generational curses. I don't believe that stuff because words matter. Words are powerful. I just talked about that the other day. The reality is that we get to choose. Once we understand that we have the free will, nothing's limiting us. And the number of stories I've seen of people that have overcome circumstances far worse of what I've been through. Here's the deal. If you really want to look in it, there's people that are way worse off than you are. Easy for me to say, right? So the power in this identity thing, it's not just some woo-woo, is once we know what we are, but more importantly, we understand where we want to be. The biggest challenge we face is we have guilt. We get down on ourselves because we know we can be better. And it's that fight or flight thing. We like, I know I should have done that. Well, that's just the way I always am. Or, no, I did that, but here's who I want to be. So once we take that stand and understand I'm sick and tired of being the old me, we now come and create new patterns. So instead of blowing up when someone cuts us off on the road, we decide to do something different. Is it an overnight thing? Is it a light bulb switch? For some people, yes. For most, we have to work at it. It's like working out. If you're overweight today, you're not going to lose 20 pounds tomorrow. You have to consistently work on to get it better. But here's the beauty. The more you do it, that old neural pathway becomes erased. It's like taking an eraser on a chalkboard. And now you're able to take, instead of the squiggly line, you can have a straight line to the new result you want. That's the power. And here's where it gets magical. This gets me excited. You can live from that identity, not for that identity. Because when we have all these negative things, we're just doing that because, we have to do it. That's the way we are. We succumb to this. But once we have this new desire in life, this new identity, the one that juices you when you wake up each morning, it gives you purpose of why you wake up and why you do what you do, you start living from that truth. And that is on all three levels. Your personal, your professional, and here's where it gets really exciting, is on the spiritual level. Because once you understand that identity in Christ, you have so much freedom. Because you get to understand how God sees you. And under the new covenant, it's different than the old covenant. When Jesus died, he died and said, "It is finished." We learn to live from Jesus, not out of obligation. I know it sounds weird, but once you have truth in your mind and you live through the truth, it transforms the way you act, the way you talk. You can see monumental results in your life when you reframe the way you want to be and you take power over that. You get to choose. There's no situation in your life that you can't choose. Now, yes, there may be some physical limitations you have and things like that, but still, most of us have this thing up here called our brain that we can still overcome all of that. Anything in life, 80% of it is mental, 20% is the execution or the technical side of it. That's powerful. Understanding your identity can transform your life, period. And it starts with taking inventory of who you are today. Get down and dirty with yourself. What are the things you don't like about yourself? It could be physical. It could be your financial health, right? It could be your business. It's not where you want it to be. All those things, guys, can be fixed. But it starts with you. You're the person that's going to solve that. Now, by saying that, it doesn't mean you have to take on that journey alone. Because once you take care of yourself, here's the power of identity again. Like a magnet, you're going to start attracting into your life other people who can help you in those things. Your eyes will start seeing opportunities. Case in point, I moved to Florida. I wanted to get more in shape. My identity now was I'm not going to be that chubby kid that I was back when I was 11 years old, something I've fought for all my life. Still working through that. Well, I saw something on Facebook. I found a great personal trainer. My eyes were open to seeing opportunities because when our identity is negative, we close it off. It's like a horse with blinders. We are just going the path that we've always gone. Well, once we see our identity, the blinders come off and it's almost like behind us. Like think of these clouds just opening up and the sun shining down on us and us seeing clearly a path. And again, we get to choose that path. How exciting is that? I don't know, if that doesn't get you a little bit, your jimmies rustling a little bit this morning and give you some confidence. Guys, if you need help in any of this, one of my missions this year is to help and empower more people to uncover that. I'm going to be launching something here very soon that's going to be mainly focused to the real estate investment community. But my goal, and I think my mission, what God has burdened me with, as I continue to figure this out, is empower more people to have breakthroughs, transformations in their life, to live the best life they can, to be the best husband they can, to be the best dad they can be, to be the best son or daughter that they can be. So if that's something that's exciting for you, all I just ask is follow along for the journey. Comment, like, share, be a part of the process. Join me on this journey. It's fun for me. Hopefully it's engaging for you. Have an amazing day. And you know what? Find out who you are. Choose your identity. Have a great one, y'all. Later.